Today I'm here with lovely Linda.
Hello.
In beautiful Chandler. And today I kind of wanted to consult with Linda in her lovely front yard. And right here she has 2 lantana, and they get full sun all day. And we were kind of talking, and I kind of want to do an experiment with Linda. And I want to see if we can't take these out and get roses to grow and look better than the lantana. So Linda has accepted my challenge.
Yes, I have.
And if they don't make it, I'll pay Linda back for the rose expenditures. But yeah, so just in general, at least in my yard, what I found was even though they kind of say lantana are low water usage, I find when they're in full sun, they need quite a bit of water. And what I kind of wanted to do was see if we could keep the same irrigation more or less on the roses and kind of the same, and just compare how the lantana are doing versus the roses and see what looks nicer in this space. Okay, so then a big thing when we have roses versus lantana is water. So you have a drip irrigation?
Everything is on a drip, and right now I'm doing every day for an hour.
Every day for an hour, and we think, and we're estimating that these heads put out like a gallon an hour?
Correct.
So I actually think that may work for roses, even though they say the lantana are low water. I think that might be, it might actually be enough to keep our roses alive. So that's part of the experiment I want to do here, is see if we don't have to adjust the watering schedule. And you know, if they ended up looking kind of sad, we can always change out the emitter and try to get a higher emitter, and that'll be very easy to do.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so we can do that. And then some of the other challenges I think with lantana is how much maintenance do you end up having to do on them, do you think?
Oh, well, they get real leggy and they spread out, so you really need to trim them back. These haven't been trimmed for some time, and they really need it.
Okay, I mean, they actually look pretty good. They look a lot better than when I had lantana, so you're clearly doing a better job with them than I was.
I think the extra water.
Yeah.
I think all that extra water really helps.
Yeah, to keep them green and full.
Yeah.
So they do look pretty good, but and then you have a landscaper?
Yes, he comes about every 2 or 3 months.
Oh, okay, that's not bad at all. And then does he hack them back down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll trim them back.
So when he hacks them back, do you like the way they look when he hacks them back?
No. It takes a little while for them to kind of fill back out and look nice.
Yeah, so when he hacks them back, do they look kind of just bony and sticky?
Yeah, very, very woody looking.
Yeah, that I do see that a lot with the lantanas. They get leggy, and then you hack them back, and then you've got no flowers or green for a while. Yeah.
Got sticks.
Yeah. And then they grow back, and then they start looking leggy again, and then you have to hack them back. So, so you're actually doing quite a fair amount of maintenance with the lantana. And
correct. You
do have a landscaper, which is nice, but if you're doing it yourself, it's kind of tedious. Yeah. And then, too, the smell of them, we're standing next to them right now, and they don't have, in my opinion, the best smell. And when you start messing with them and everything, they do tend to break you out, and very irritating plant. So it's a good thing that you have a landscaper.
Yeah, once you touch them, I do not like that smell at all.
Yeah.
Now, right now, if I don't touch them, I don't really get any smell. But as soon as I touch them, I don't like that smell at all.
Yeah,
and you do break out. You get real itchy.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll have fun taking these out of the ground. We'll get nice and itchy. But so the other thing too, that we are in a nice gated neighborhood with an HOA.
Correct.
So you did reach out to your HOA?
Correct. And there's no restriction on what plant I can put in. They didn't have any requirement for drought resistant or anything like that. The only thing I need to do is provide what I'm doing. I'm taking these out and then I'm going to show him what I want to put in, and then I think there's like a $25 permit that they charge. And that's it. That's all I need to do.
Okay, so we've got the go-ahead. We checked with the HOA. We do have the ability to plant some roses, so that's good. And obviously it's midsummer right now. It's hot.
Yes.
So we don't want to be planting really anything right now, but what I do want to do is show how these guys are doing, get it on film, and then we'll do updates and everything, and you know, planning and how they're doing and maintenance and everything. And then next summer that'll be the challenge.
Correct. Yeah.
Is do the roses look better than the Lantana right now in mid and July?
You know, I have no doubt. I think they will.
Well, good. She's got faith in the roses.
Yes, I do.
But one thing that is nice, so these are the Groundcover Lantana, and they do have the Groundcover roses, and that is kind of what I would suggest that we go ahead and do. And I really I do have a drift, what they call a drift rose. It's like that's the kind of the brand is Drift Roses.
Okay.
It's grown by Star Roses, and they're ground cover, and they only get 1.5 feet, 2 feet tall, and then they'll get wide, like 3 feet, 4 feet wide. And they're a hybrid between kind of like the knockout rose and like the mini roses. And so you don't get the true rose form, but what you do get is you get like big packets of blooms. And because they're a mix between that miniature rose and it's a ground cover rose, and it doesn't get out of control or spindly or leggy as much as these.
That'll be nice.
So they should keep in check, and really we should only need to do like a big prune once a year on it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, as they grow, you may trim it here or there, but they're mostly going to stay nice and compact, nice and green, and then they'll bloom in big clusters. Nice. And then they do have different colors that you can get. They've got like a red, a pink, a yellow, and a white.
Okay.
So we can go, they do sell them at big box stores. So we can just go to like Lowe's or Home Depot. We might want to order it, because a lot of times they don't have all the colors in stock. Yeah. So if you want a certain color, we may try and order it. And we can see if we can get them in fall and plant them in fall. If not, they're usually in stock in spring, because they don't do bare root. Those just don't come bare root. They usually come container. But I think it'll look really nice. It'll be a nice replacement. And like I said, I'd like to do an experiment. So see about not changing our water schedule, see really about not changing maintenance at all, and do a comparison between the two.
So how big of a container do they come in? Is it a 1 gallon or 5 gallon, or do you?
It depends. Yeah, you can get them in different sizes.
Okay.
So when I got mine, it was a big container.
Probably a 5 gallon.
Yeah.
I would think getting a 5 gallon that's a little bit more established might do better, maybe.
Yeah, I think that if we get a smaller one, just dig a nice big hole for it, just to make sure the roots can grow out. I find it easier to plant the smaller ones because I'm very small, and it was quite a challenge to tip the larger one, get it in the hole. But I think both will do well as long as we get a nice hole with some mulch down. I think they'll. Okay. And we may just be limited on what they have and just get what they've got. So. Okay. But we'll see. We can look online and see what they have and go for that.
Sounds good.
One other thing I did want to mention is with the landscaper, I don't know if I recommend letting them touch
I
the
probably
rose.
will tell him to leave them alone.
Yes.
Because I don't know if he's going to be well versed in it or not, and especially with this little challenge that you're doing, I'll definitely tell him to leave them alone just so you can see the comparison. Yeah. And I might just tell him not to bother with them. Yeah, and like I said, they don't need to get cut back, and a lot of people who landscape, especially in the Phoenix Valley, I don't know if you noticed, but they tend to just take shears and hack everything back, and that's not the correct method to be pruning roses, you know, and they really don't need it. I mean, the pruning on a rose to me is very minor, like it's just a quick trim back, and I don't think roses get that out of control unless you have a vine or a rambling rose or anything. So these should stay in check, and
yeah, we might want to inform the gardener not to hack them back,
Correct.
because it'll cut off all the blooms and it won't bloom. So, all right.
Correct.
Well, what else? Is there any other worries, concerns?
I wanted to see about maybe a rose in a container to put up by my front window. I have a drip line up there. Can you do roses in a container? What do you recommend? Should we try it?
We should definitely try it. We should try everything. Yeah, I think right now it's getting shade, but it looks like it will get afternoon sun.
Yes.
Yeah. They do prefer
You know-
morning sun, but they should be fine, especially if we get a big enough pot and you've got drip on them.
Yes, there's drip over there. And then what I should do is maybe monitor how much sun, because when it starts going down in the west, this house is going to shade it a little bit when it starts going down.
You know, in containers though, I think they can stand to have a little bit more shade just because the soil and
Okay.
the pot dries out a lot. So we can definitely, you can do roses in pots, and
Okay.
you know, with anything, just water it and fertilize, and
Okay, we'll try it.
yeah, we can, and we can go check that out in a second too. We can kind of show what we're thinking
Okay.
about. So that's good. Yeah.
Yeah, so with the permit with the HOA, I am going to show something there.
Okay.
Maybe I'll put optional or something, unless
Okay.
at the time I pull that permit, I know for sure I'm doing it, and then I'll have it.
Yeah. Do you have to do a drawing for the HOA?
I'm going to, just because it's so much easier to see a picture than it is to try to describe something.
You're just going to hand draw it out.
Actually, I'm going to take a photograph, and then I'm
Oh.
going to overlay what I want to do on top of it. And so here's what I have now, and then here's what I propose.
She's fancy.
It's
Fancy.
easy.
Yeah.
Easy for me to do if you have the right program on your computer, let's say, right?
Yeah.
So I think that way he can understand and he can see what I want to do. And I don't think I'm going to have any problem after I spoke with him. So
Well, and then let's once you get those drawn up, we can actually show them too, and we could
True.
do an update. And I'll probably work a little bit with you on that, because I can show like the size that they're going to get and kind of how big of a pot we should get.
correct.
Yep. So we can work on that, and we can do a whole episode on Linda's wonderful, wonderful. Is it Adobe that you're using?
No, publisher.
Publisher skills. So
Yeah.
there we go.
It's publisher. It's with Microsoft. So I've used it a lot. It's kind of similar to like the Adobe InDesign. It's kind of similar to that.
Well, I'm going to learn a lesson from Linda on how to do picture
Okay.
overlays. But all right, well, we'll do some close-ups on these lantana. That way we can get before and afters, and kind of we can show more about where we want to put things, and then we can also talk about those
Okay.
pots back there.
Sounds good.
All right, we'll see you in a bit. Bye. So here's the area that Linda was requesting to maybe put pots in front of this little bump out where she's got her, dining area. For the larger rose bushes, those roots get about 18 inches, so they don't get that terribly deep. So if we get about to the first, this first little bump out here with the container, and then we were talking about possibly getting more drift roses and kind of training them to like waterfall out over the container. That will take a bit of training, but we can see about getting them to grow up kind of maybe about here on the window, and then kind of flowing over the sides of the pot. That would look quite nice. So if we get a couple of pots on either side and we just do more drift, that would look quite good. And as long as we get our watering right, the soil right, I really don't think that it should be any problems to getting them grow. Lots of people grow nice big container roses. So we'll get a nice big pot, and we'll see how it goes, and we'll submit it to the HOA for approval, and we'll show that install as well.